Very vast is the expanding rubber sheet of the space-time continuum. Should we not call it infinite? No, as a matter of fact we should not. Not unless we want to get into an interminable argument with both physicists and philosophers, the kind of argument where people steeple their fingers and say very slowly, "Well, it all depends on what you mean by infinite," and go on saying it with variations till the beer runs out. If you are very unlucky, they will explain how infinities come in different sizes. What we can fairly safely say is that there are clumps of matter on that rubber sheet moving about and organising themselves into complicated systems, billions of them. Two of these deserve our close attention. One consists of a rather lumpy and intensely hot spherical core of iron and rock, much of it in a molten state, held together by its own pressure and wrapped in a thin, solid crust. It is whirled through space by the force of gravity. This is the Earth, which is round like a ball. The other is round like a plate, and is moved at a more sedate pace by a team of elephants and a turtle. This is the Discworld. What they have in common is that each carries through the cosmos a cargo of conscious, imaginative, we could even say charitably, intelligent, living species. Over the many centuries of their existence, these species have generated an accumulation of thoughts, information, emotions, beliefs, and imaginings which envelops their world like a mental atmosphere, a noosphere. Within this noosphere, patterns have formed, driven by the irresistible force of narrativium, the narrative imperative, the power of story. Some scholars call the patterns motifs, others topoi, others memes. The point is, they're there, everyone knows them, and they go on and on. More remarkably, some of the strongest can replicate themselves and go drifting off across the multiverse as particles of inspiration, which leads to some truly amazing similarities between the Earth and Discworld. The elephants and the turtle. The absolutely central, incontrovertible fact about the Discworld is that it is a disc. At least it's incontrovertible unless you adhere to the Omnian religion, in which case you must controvert it like Billio. This disc rests upon 4 gigantic elephants, named Beryllia, Tubule, Great Typhon, and Jerachine, whose bones are living iron and whose nerves are living gold. These elephants themselves stand upon the shell of the Great Artuin, a 10,000-mile-long star turtle, which is swimming through space in a purposeful manner. What this purpose may be is unknown. A child once asked, "Why does the turtle swim?" A wise man replied, "Child, there is no why. It is so." And that could be said of many things. On Earth, everyone knows that people used to believe that their planet was also flat, if they thought about it at all. In fact, for several thousand years, a growing number of educated people have shared the knowledge that it is a globe. Generally speaking, it was wisest not to shout about it in the street, though, because of the unrest this could cause. No doubt scholars in the ancient Hindu India partook of this knowledge. But since truth comes in many forms, the age-old epic poems of India declare the world to be a disc.